Socrates was a classical Greek philosopher, often considered one of the founding figures of Western philosophy. His ideas and methods not only shaped the development of philosophy but also, through his students Plato and Aristotle, formed a philosophical tradition with lasting influence. Socrates was born in Athens to a modest family. His father was a stonemason, and his mother was a midwife. He received a good education, excelling in music, literature, and philosophy. Despite his intellectual achievements, Socrates left no writings of his own. His life and philosophy are mainly known through the accounts of his students, such as Plato and Xenophon. Socrates practiced philosophy as a way of life, engaging in dialogues with people of all social classes, exploring fundamental questions about morality, justice, and human nature. Socrates led a simple life, indifferent to wealth and material pleasures, believing that austerity helped in the cultivation of the mind. He rejected the relativism of the sophists, a popular intellectual movement of the time, insisting that truth and virtue could be discovered through reason and dialogue. In 399 BCE, Socrates was tried and convicted by the Athenian court on charges of corrupting the youth and impiety. Although he was given the opportunity to escape death, he chose to accept the court's judgment and was sentenced to death by drinking hemlock. Socrates believed that defying the law, even for the sake of survival, was immoral, as it undermined social order and justice. Philosophical thought and influence. Socrates' philosophical method, known as the Socratic method or Socratic questioning, was based on dialogue. Through a series of probing questions, Socrates aimed to challenge assumptions, forcing his interlocutors to reflect and reconsider their beliefs, ultimately exposing contradictions or ignorance. He believed that through this process, people could approach truth and gain a deeper understanding of ethical concepts such as justice, virtue, and courage. The Socratic method not only challenged the beliefs of his conversational partners but also revealed the limits of knowledge. Socrates' famous quote, "I know that I know nothing," encapsulates this core of his philosophy. Recognizing one's ignorance is the first step toward wisdom. He opposed arrogance and blind confidence, advocating for rational thought and moral self-improvement. Socrates' ethics centered on the idea that virtue is knowledge. He argued that if a person truly knows what is good and just, they will act accordingly. Therefore, immoral actions are the result of ignorance, not willful evil. This intellectualist approach to virtue influenced Plato and Aristotle, shaping the foundation of Western moral philosophy. Through his student Plato, Socrates' ideas and legacy were immortalized in philosophical dialogues like the Republic and Phaedo. Plato's portrayal of Socrates helped establish him as a symbol of philosophical inquiry, whose ideas directly influenced Plato's theory of the ideal state and indirectly shaped Aristotle's ethics and political philosophy, as well as Christian theology in later centuries. Socrates was renowned for his wisdom and insight, and several of his sayings became central to his philosophy. Here are some of his most famous quotes. "The unexamined life is not worth living." This quote, from Socrates' defense speech during his trial, reflects his commitment to philosophy and self-reflection. Socrates believed that a life without critical examination of one's own values, morals, and actions was devoid of true meaning. "I know that I know nothing." This statement captures the essence of Socratic wisdom. It emphasizes the importance of recognizing one's ignorance as a necessary condition for the pursuit of knowledge. For Socrates, the acknowledgement of ignorance was the first step toward true understanding. Virtue is knowledge. Socrates argued that knowledge and virtue are inseparable. If a person knows what is right, they will do what is right. Immorality, according to Socrates, stems from ignorance rather than intentional wrongdoing. There is no true knowledge without virtue. Socrates believed that the value of knowledge lies in its application to life. Knowledge that does not guide one toward virtue and moral improvement is not truly meaningful. Socrates' life was a testament to his pursuit of truth and moral reflection. His ideas laid the foundation for Western philosophy and, through his students, have influenced the entire trajectory of human thought. Socrates' philosophy was not confined to theoretical speculation, it was an integral part of daily life. By engaging people in dialogue and questioning the essence of justice, morality, and the meaning of life, Socrates inspired generations to think critically and examine their own lives, making him one of the most respected and admired figures in the history of philosophy.